Oh, there it is.
Did you actually hit the button? It didn't look like it.
Well, I don't know. What do you think? I guess
kinda
we'll find out in the
leaned into
edit.
Yeah, okay. It's counting up.
Oh, God.
Happy birthday, Tanner.
Thank you.
What?
What was that face for? Is it still... it is still technically my birthday.
How does it feel to be
Yeah.
younger
Old.
than me, yet still older than dirt?
Older than me.
I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not true, is
I
it?
feel like
No.
Tanner's soul is like just...
He's got the soul of an old man.
And the body of one.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what happened. Yeah, I'm in my late 20s now.
Officially.
Yeah, but you know what? I've been doing this since my early 20s. So that's pretty wild.
I have
not
too.
this show. You're still in your early 20s.
Yeah. I bring the youthful glow into this podcast.
What do you mean? I think we're pretty youthful.
Yeah.
You just said how you have the body of an old man.
Wes said he thought I was 86 with good skin. So,
Thank you.
yeah. I'm 27 with medium to bad skin, is what I told him. Yeah, we're here, I guess. Look, so the last episode's not done yet, and I'm gonna try... Okay,
There
the last
was a lot of
episode's
dog barking.
not started yet, I should say.
So we don't even know if the dog barking is going to interfere yet.
Wait, so this
It's
could be
gonna.
episode 1, and that could be episode 2 of our
Of 2.0.
Yeah.
Or 2.1 at this point,
Sure.
probably.
2.01.
Well, because technically 1.0 was
Ancient.
Y-Files.
Yeah.
So 2.0...
Oh, I hated that name.
So this would be 3.0, I guess. Because it's a whole new edition.
You know what they say. Third
right.
time is the charm.
You know, I also hated that name, but I just couldn't come up with a better one.
Well, that's what we
I
all
didn't-
ran into. I threw out one thing and no one topped it. And I was like, I did not expect that to stick.
And I wasn't there to tell you, no.
Yeah.
We're not gonna start this until we have a better name.
Well, it was supposed to be a play on X-Files, which it turns out someone had already done.
Oh, see, now that you say that, I like that name.
Well,
I thought it was dumb this whole time, but now I'm like, oh, that's pretty good.
I think is an NBC show from the 90s. So maybe that's just X-Files. Someone did it.
Yeah. There's a zine.
Simpsons probably did it.
Simpsons predicted this whole episode. I bet after the winter freeze, Simpsons did an episode where ERCOT got too hot and the power went out. And that's why it's happening.
We should come up with a plan if that happens again.
My plan
Go
Because
is...
this
tubing?
time I can escape.
We just
Well,
go to
yeah. My
We
plan
just go
is
tubing.
just go
Right, but
somewhere with
I've
power.
got a black dog. Like,
That's what... My granny lives on a hill, and she lost power for like a week during all that. She lives by herself on the top of a hill in a neighborhood full of retired people that live on top of a hill. So no one could get to her for a week except for this cool waiter from the Mexican restaurant she goes to who went to check on her.
oh, that's
Aw.
so sweet.
Yeah. So this time, if her power goes out, at least we can get there.
That's true. And this time you guys can rescue me.
Yeah.
Because last time one person came to check on me the entire week, and it was because they wanted to borrow my screwdriver.
What?
We were texting you, and we were like, hey, we're going out. Like, if you can get down the hill, come with us.
I couldn't.
You should get
You
like
could
a...
have sledded.
Yeah,
I
like a
couldn't get
toboggan or
back
something like
up,
that.
and I needed like my cat. I couldn't leave her alone.
You could.
Cats love to be left alone. It's like their favorite
I was
thing.
gonna worry the whole time that she died of the freeze, and I was gonna like forget a phone charger or my Switch or something, and also die going down that hill. It was frozen for a week after.
Yeah.
I mean, I I will say it's kind of
This
a
is
waste opportunity
not
that you didn't.
the most topical episode now that I'm thinking about it, because this was a long time ago. So we should probably explain what's happened, just in case that last episode doesn't go up. In the last episode, we explained that we've kind of rebranded. It's nothing personal to anyone out there. The fans who might have made a connection here. We didn't do it just to get rid of you.
Legacy merch is still available.
Legacy merch, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, Legacy merch is still available. We rebranded because it's a lot easier when everything kind of has the same name to keep it all together. So this is all an offshoot of Channel 3 now. This is Channel 3 After Dark, obviously,
Which is
if you're
actually,
listening.
I like that name also.
Yeah, well, I
You
really
didn't
like our
ask,
new logo.
But, I do like it.
I did ask. I said, "How is this, everyone?" And you said yes or nothing. And I took that as a yes.
I mean, can I say that it does sound like Channel 3 After Dark should be played on HBO after 9 p.m. on 2006.
Yeah, no, I get that.
That's why we apologize
and
to my mom.
that's why we're all naked. But obviously that doesn't come through for the listener.
Right.
So
I wish it did.
Just in your head, picture it. And
Picture them all you want. I have a reputation to uphold. My mom listens.
this is in keeping with my reputation. So.
It's fine. Yeah.
The body of an old man with medium to bad skin. Just imagine that.
Can you change that to your Twitter?
That might be too long. I'm already pushing it with what I have.
Yeah.
So that's why everything's a little different. Also, it's been a while because we all just got real busy. That just happens, I guess.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, but we got a
There
schedule
were some
now.
nightmare
And
situations, and
yeah,
now they're, we're waking up.
Yeah,
That was a weird metaphor.
Yeah,
I don't like metaphors. I prefer similes. Can you throw out some similes?
It was like a nightmare.
Fine. So we're back on a schedule now, and hopefully we'll be around more often.
I feel like some people are going to be very confused about that joke.
So funny.
People who don't know what similes are?
Yeah.
Fair.
Look, I was an English major. Briefly.
And how'd that work out?
I have an English minor. I don't have a degree.
You know what I have a minor in?
finished minor.
Psychology.
And
Isn't
yet-
that useless?
Doesn't everybody?
Yeah, I guess.
I thought they hand those out at the library, right?
Yeah.
There was a point in college where I went to an advisor and I was like, look, I just want to get out of here. So what can I do? And she's like, you have the most credits toward psychology and I think it was sociology. And I was like, I'm not majoring in either of those. So give me the minor in one and I guess mass comm. I'll finish that. So here I am.
Oh, wow. And that makes me feel bad because I kind of want to go back to school for sociology. So
That's
Do what you gotta. You
I'm
can
going
help me
back to
in my
school for computer
behavioral statistics
science.
Oh, something useful. Nice.
I have 0 credits in it.
Class.
But that's what I'm going back to finish.
One day I'm gonna go back for mass comm. So we all switch.
Yo,
Yeah.
with our powers combined.
We could make one functional boomer.
With our powers combined, we have most of a degree.
I don't have a PE credit though, so one of you guys is gonna have to cover me for that.
One advantage of English majors, I had to take 2 years of language, but no PE credit.
I took one flex math class in high school, college algebra. Mm-hmm. Took it my senior year, and I've never had to take another math class.
I've had to
pretty
take 3, and that makes
just
me
never
so
had to do it.
mad. I have to take one more.
Lately, I've been getting into paleontology, though. I feel
Yeah,
like maybe
you
I should
have
get a
said
degree
that.
in that.
I don't
I've seen
think you
Jurassic
should.
Park. That's a bad
Tanner,
idea.
you would get so bored.
Here's the thing. That's my state of existence. That's my default.
That's true.
So we are talking about things spooky
I
related.
had started on something and I don't remember. I
We've
think I
been
got most
gone,
of the
and
way
now
through
we're back.
that. We're different now, but the same.
We're different now.
You can
My
expect
hair,
the same medium level of quality and the same medium level of spooky content. but with a now high quality, I would say, logo image.
Yeah, no, that's about fair.
Your own horn, huh?
Well, if you wanted to make us a logo, you could have.
Well, I wasn't given the opportunity, and also I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're arguing about this. Like, I do like the logo.
Yeah, it's all right. I couldn't get the colors exactly how I wanted them, but... Well. Also, have you ever tried to make a TV from scratch out of regular shapes?
I mean, isn't that what just a TV is?
But I do a lot
regular shapes.
They're not regular.
It's like
they're ovular.
That's a rectangle.
That's a rectangle now, but that's not how TVs were in the 90s when our logo was taken.
What?
It's best not to ask questions from here.
When our logo was taken, all right.
Was that before or after I was born?
I was modeling after an old TV VCR combo we used to have as kids.
Anyway.
Me and my sister. I don't know about y'all, but...
No, it's pretty spot on to what we had. I watched a lot of Barbie movies on it and The Wiggles.
Yeah?
And then DVDs came out when I was like 4.
We had an inverter, and we would take it on road trips, and I figured out I could plug the PS2 into it, and my sister never got to use it from that point on. But I beat all of Spider-Man 2 on a road trip.
That's a success right there.
It was fun.
Anyway, I want to see if you guys can guess what I'm talking about today. Okay.
Sorry, you just reminded me.
I'm not getting out of here by 11.
During the break, you and I were driving to work separately together.
Yeah, I didn't ever finish that episode.
Yeah, and I put on... We were going to listen to the same thing so that we could be together separately.
Because he was a coward and didn't want to work in the office for his first day so we could carpool.
Yeah.
Coward.
I wanted to go home and set up my computer.
Whatever.
And also, I didn't think you'd stop at Halal Bros on the way home, and I really needed to.
You could have asked.
So anyway, I put on an episode of Do Go On, and we get to the office, and I texted you like, "Hey, what do you think of the episode so far?" And you just sent back, "Are we copying them?"
I did. I did do that. I was like, "Hey, is this what we're like mimicking?"
So anyway,
said, yes.
The way we do it here is one of us goes away, researches a topic. The other two don't know what it is, but we always start with a question to get us on topic.
That's not true, is it?
You know, if it makes you guys feel better, I've never listened to like a spooky podcast before, so...
I've listened to many.
They don't cover spooky, and that's why I wanted to do this. Was because they did a couple episodes about serial killers, but mostly they do like history.
See, yeah. I was under the impression that it would be like a little bit spooky, and then we were just listening to a thing about an Irish prison, and I was like, okay.
It was an escape from an IRA prison.
Great.
A prison for the IRA, not an IRA-run prison.
Right.
It's like fascinating stuff.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. I just like didn't... It wasn't what I thought I was signing up for.
Anyway, so the whole reason I wanted to do this was because I really like their format, but I wanted like different subject matter. Like I didn't want to hear a deep dive into Carrie Fisher, even though she is the queen. Still is.
Yeah,
I thought it was Beyonce.
No, Carrie Fisher's the OG.
Yeah, I'll stand by that.
But like I wanted different content, so I was like, well, I just do it myself then. So we were very... directly inspired by them. Yes.
Indirectly, my entire behind.
And that's what I said to you when you asked if we were copying them. And the answer is no, because we don't start with a question, and that's the major difference.
Well, I have a question for you guys.
Yeah, that's the whole joke that I just made.
No, so I'm going to give you guys a few hints, and I want to see if you can guess it. I don't know if you will, but I don't know that you won't. So, I've mentioned...
It's like a Bigfoot, but...
That's a throwback. I forgot that
That's
bit.
A deep cut.
What was that called?
I don't remember. That was just us. Oh, yeah! That was just like the
That was
real
the
or
Russian
fake,
one.
Monster or
it's like a Bigfoot
Oh, are we not doing that at the end of this episode? Because
No.
I had planned to.
Really?
Yeah, I have some.
No, we'll have to put that on hold. I can't do that today.
All right. Yeah, Emily,
Well, we
Anyway.
can't really do it with 3 people. Anyway.
Yeah, so we could do one of us could be real and one of us could
one
be
of
fake.
us tells only lies. One of
and
us.
the other one tells only truths. And one of these doors will get you out of here.
And then I ask either one of you who's telling the truth, and that's how I find out.
No.
Here's the twist.
Well,
We
I
both
ask-
forget our roles.
No, if you ask who's telling the truth, then
Okay, you ask
you're going to
who's
get the wrong answer.
lying.
No. The answer... Oh, my gosh.
if I
what
were to
color
ask,
is my shirt?
if I were to ask the other guy this,
You get one question. You say, yeah, if I were to ask Norman which door I should go out, what would he say? And then you get the correct door either way. Or the incorrect door. Either way.
we could.
Well,
that's
is
very
not-
important.
Hold on, because that's like the whole thing, isn't it? Is knowing which is
It's one of those two, and you can definitely know it for sure. The thing is, I don't. No, you'll get the correct door. Because if you ask the person who
No.
always lies...
what the other one will say.
Yeah, so you get
then
the
they'll
incorrect
say-
door.
Right.
Because the person who tells you the truth will tell you what the... Yeah.
So what's your final answer, Tanner?
Yeah, it's that.
Anyway.
No, I had a legitimate thing to say. Gooseneck.
That's traumatic. It's traumatic.
I should go back and listen to that episode.
All right, we're back. I probably cut most of that. So we did solve your D&D riddle for you during that.
You solved nothing. Anyway.
Was I right about who it is, though?
What?
It was Bigfoot, but
No.
But Gooseneck.
Bigfoot, but
It makes sense.
There's no chance everyone else thinks we're as funny as we think we are.
I know that we're not.
as long as we're having fun, you know.
I'm having a great time.
I'm the only one sober. This sucks.
Yeah, it does. That does suck.
Anyway.
To be fair, you were presented the opportunity.
You didn't offer me a drink this time.
What? You know where the refrigerator is.
Yeah, I got a
That's
Coke.
what you picked out.
I got a Coke from your fridge. Thank you. So, I've mentioned this before.
Norm's playing with ammunition. It worries me.
ASMR ammunition.
You know, whatever. I don't need it.
Yeah, you don't.
He wanted to sit there like dead shot for the whole podcast and twirl it around.
Pretty cool.
There is a mention of this in my favorite game series.
All right, your favorite
And-
game
PUBG
series. I feel like that gives me a lot to go on, but also they mention everything.
I'll say it was before the reinvention.
Okay,
Give us your thought process.
so that covers the Middle East, Italy, the Americas, the Caribbean, England, France.
Is it Jack the Ripper?
No.
Oh, okay.
But, you're close. The last hint I will give you is there is a third wave ska band named after this.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, I forgot you're a big ska fan.
I am not. Don't put that on me.
Oh, why'd you put it by me?
Take away the ammunition from him. He can't be trusted. Just
hold
to
on.
play with it. Oh, I'm holding. Okay.
Okay, that's so many countries this could
Yeah,
come
I'm really.
from.
There's
I told you you're close
Is it
with...
the apple
with
of
Jack-
Eden?
No, I told you you're close with Jack the Ripper.
like how close? Same country?
Oh.
Well, that's a big country.
Not a lot of legends come out of it. It's an urban legend. I'll give you that hint,
Jersey
too.
Devil.
Out of England? That's in New Jersey.
He
Bigfoot
was
with a top
thinking
hat.
of Old Jersey.
Yeah.
Old Jersey is off the coast of, like, France.
Oh, Loch Ness
that
Monster
not-
Man?
The
No.
European Union?
England isn't.
Well, yeah. Thanks a lot, British Trump.
Thanks, Boris.
British Trump, that's what I said.
I know, but
Okay.
you don't have to keep guessing. I could just tell you.
Stuff from... Well, no, this is a game, and I have to win.
Oh, I've given up instantly.
Is it one of those newfangled Pokemon I don't understand?
No, what?
All right.
Oh, is it a Digimon?
Yes.
No, I do understand those.
What?
Really?
Is it a Beetleborg?
Huh?
Ooh, I know that one.
No.
That's a deep cut for 90s kids.
I guess technically I was a Thousands kid.
Is it a Mummies Alive?
Yeah.
Mummy Returns. How did we get on this?
How do we get on anything?
Why, are we doing Brendan Fraser jokes? Is that what's going on?
I was doing referencing a 90s cartoon of a mummies in a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers style show. You're
no, I don't remember that
my favorite is the pumpkin wrapper.
What was the
That's
one
Power
with
Rangers.
the computer programs that they have like different powers because they're in the computer. They're in the internet.
Is it Mega Man?
Lyoko.
It's neither of those two things.
Well, if you're wrong, then that's
Specifically Mega Man Battle Network.
Right, hold on.
We're way off topic.
No,
here.
I know.
We need to... Okay,
your
Tanner's
thing.
not going to get
I
it.
have been trying to get you back on track. So you're close with Jack the Ripper because it's in England and Jack is in the
Please
name.
don't give us more tries.
I'm just telling you why I said you were close. We're talking about Springheel Jack today.
Oh!
That's another deep cut.
He jumps real high.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, this is actually one of my favorite topics. And there's not really a lot about it because there's just not a lot about it. Like, there's not many articles and stuff online. And he shows up in pop culture more than you might think for something that's relatively obscure.
It was Reboot, by the way. Was the cartoon I was
No
thinking
idea.
of.
You got a picture of that bad boy?
Yeah, I got you right here.
Don't let us stop
I'll
you.
wait.
Oh, there's news for it.
Are they doing a reboot of Reboot?
That would be the best.
Oh, God. I remember that.
I don't, and I'm glad.
They were computer programs that, for some reason, they were programmed, if I remember right, to give all of them different powers. But now that I've grown up, I realize you could just copy those lines of code into each of them, and you could have a bunch of people with all the powers.
Yeah.
So, look,
But that's like a late game.
But maybe they weren't programs. Maybe they got, like, troned into the computer. I don't remember. It's been a while. I'd rather talk about Freakazoid.
Plex.
Yeah, we'll put Reboot on Plex. Freakazoid's already on there. Look, okay, let's talk about Springy Jumpy Boy.
That is... How'd you know his nickname?
I gave it to him. We used to be buds.
Then maybe you can provide some insight.
Yeah, we were in the same frat.
83 with great skin.
Anyway,
See what happens when you don't take control, Emily?
I kind of like to see... Well, it's his birthday. I can't yell at him.
You
It's not
can.
today.
I got an hour and a half, and then I can.
Rare.
So Springheel Jack popped up around the late... That is funny.
That was a good one. I don't think you did it on purpose, but that was good.
Thank you for bringing that out. The idea came about in the late 19th century. In Victorian England, there were a lot of ghost stories that would kind of feed into the zeitgeist of how this came to be. Notably... So the first sighting of Springheel Jack was in 1837, but back in 1803, there was the Hammersmith ghost. Rumor said it was the spirit of a man who killed himself and then was buried by the church in a churchyard.
Was the churchyard called Hammersmith?
Hammersmith Kirkyard.
Kirkyard?
Mm-hmm. So in England,
Kierkegaard?
Kirkyard, Kirkya, I think. It might be a Scottish thing. Hold on, I had it pulled up.
I think I'm...
So he was So the rumor said it was a spirit of a man who killed himself and then was buried in the churchyard, which is just the graveyard next to it, like on church property. Kirkyard is the Scottish way to say it.
Those crazy Scots.
Watch it. They make up like some of our...
Talking about Norm.
That's funny because his last name is Scott.
Yeah.
We just doxed you.
You did.
How does that feel?
Nah, whatever.
It's all right. I'll bleep it out.
You've got a pretty generic name.
I'll bleep it out, but anyone with context clues will be able to put it together anyway.
I mean, here's the thing.
And also, it's on his Twitter.
There's that. I'm also the only black Norman Scat, so in the world. So.
Probably, but I'm going to have to do research. That'll be my topic for the next time I present.
Doppelgangers. We're just talking about Norm. So people believe that if you killed yourself, you shouldn't be buried in consecrated ground because then your soul wouldn't be at rest.
Man. People believe a lot of stuff.
Well, there was nothing else to do in 1803. They described him as being like very tall, dressed in white clothing. Sometimes he was described as wearing a calfskin with horns and large glass eyes. I don't know if that means...
Both of them?
I don't know if that means that the calfskin had horns and glass eyes, or if he had horns and glass eyes. I didn't look into it because I prefer to imagine it that just the calfskin and the man
four
had glass
horns,
eyes.
4 eyes.
Hey!
You can't see it, but she wears pretty thick glasses.
I can't see either.
Amazingly thick.
I call them my goggles.
Bulletproof.
There were a lot of stories that came out about this guy. A lot of sightings. It was said that 2 women, one elderly and the other pregnant, were reported to have been seized by the ghost on separate occasions while walking near the churchyard. And they both died of shock. Ah!
Now,
So,
when you say seized, like, would you just pop up?
He attacked them.
How?
I was imagining like... Oh, I was thinking sieged. Never mind. I was thinking of some castle warfare.
Chivalry 2's out.
They were both so frightened they both died from shock a few days afterwards.
To be fair, people used to die of a lot of stuff, and when women died, no one really looked into it.
We'll get into that. Another story was... This guy has a name. He testified. Because there was a court case that we're getting to with this one. Thomas Groom, he was a brewer's servant. He was walking with a companion in the churchyard around 9 p.m. And then something rose behind a tombstone and seized him by the throat. So I assume that's what seized with the ladies meant.
Maybe.
Well, was he trespassing?
Well, nothing
No,
good
the
happens in the graveyard
Well,
after 9.
The churchyard is public property.
Well, everything in England's public property.
Yeah, as long as you're not inside. Like, everything's public property. Just about. I don't know if that was the case back then, but I don't see why it wouldn't be.
Wait. So if I'm dead,
Yeah?
my little...
I just read your hat, and it's dope. I love it.
Well, I'm glad you like it. So if I'm dead, the little, I don't know, what, 6 by 3?
We're cremating
space
you.
That
Yeah.
That's not my space. That's
We're doing
public.
it.
That's
Yeah.
public space.
Right.
Well,
I'm
you
gonna have
know,
a picnic on it.
Mary Shelley... Was it Mary Shelley lost her virginity on a help me. What's the coffin that's above ground?
Mausoleum?
No.
No, that's a room of coffins.
Tomb?
Sure.
Sarcophagus? I'm just saying things at this
That's an
point.
Egyptian coffin.
Oh, speaking of cremation,
What?
We weren't, but okay.
if you like 10 paragraphs ago, so if this is my request, all right, and it's on recorded. If we ever get big, and I die, you got to cremate me, and you got to spread my ashes over our fans, so that way I can live on.
I feel you. I would actually like to be bronzed. I would like to become a statue, and I would like to be mounted with Cocaine Bear. I want a sword in one hand and a rifle in the other, and Cocaine Bear between my legs,
That's pretty good.
for lack of a better word.
Emily,
That is pretty good.
what do you do?
I would like to be turned into fertilizer.
That's lame.
Yeah, man.
You didn't want to get one of those tree pod things?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, not have you seen the tree pod things?
Yes, I have.
She wants to be a tree.
But, like, it's got to be a good tree.
What kind of, like...
I want to
What's
be
a
like...
good tree?
Well, not like a crepe myrtle. Crepe myrtles are cute. Don't get me wrong.
Bonsai.
What if we make you, like, a palm tree?
I'm not that small.
And then we can take the coconuts, and they'll be Emily coconuts.
Yeah.
I don't
Then we'll
think
eat you.
that's how...
Indirectly.
I don't like that.
Look,
Fine.
we're not going to tell anyone where the coconuts came from.
Wait, are we selling them?
What?
No, we're giving them away.
Okay.
Wait. At least make some money off of
Nobody
me.
likes coconuts.
I like coconut.
I don't know.
I'm glad.
I'm neutral about coconut.
Anyway,
Imagine...
correct. You can just do whatever. As
Yeah.
long as you don't, like, desecrate the headstone, people will let you do whatever. Anyway. So
I'm just saying, this is lame, and people back then were too bored.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny, but...
So something rose from behind the tombstone and seized him by the throat. Then his companion turned around, because he heard the commotion.
Does it give a name for the companion?
No.
And what I'm asking
then-
is, were they roommates? Or...
As history.
Look, they're walking through a graveyard at 9 o'clock. I just want to know, has this been whitewashed?
So the ghost turned him around and he saw nothing.
Wait, the ghost turned him around?
Yeah, so the companion turned around and then the ghost gave me a twist round. That's a quote.
Hey,
Like,
man,
did he
can you
take
go
his
that
hand
way?
and give him a spin? Like,
Well, he had him by the throat. I'm thinking he
And
just
then-
spun him around by the throat.
Go that way.
Yeah. And then, but then he saw nothing. I gave a bit of a push out with my fist and felt something soft like a great coat. And then,
Like a calf skin? Or a glass eye?
and then there was another sighting, but it's not as exciting. So here's the thing. So a lot of people were frightened by him, and he was like, you know, if you believe in this, he was actually like causing harm to people. So people
Oh, no, I
wanted,
don't.
so the police force was actually taking it pretty seriously because it was 1803 at this point, 1804, and again, there was not much to do. Actually, that was all late 1803. No one's gonna correct me. So London didn't have an organized police force at the time, and people were frightened, so people, basically there was vigilante people just looking for the ghost, trying to, like, make the terror stop.
You know how people do.
Yeah.
Bad.
can I just say how awesome it must have been being a criminal back then? You just put a little bit of flour on and just...
I'm a ghost.
Gave him a twist round.
I'm not a mobster. I'm a ghost.
So here's the thing.
Have you seen Peaky Blinders? I'm picturing Peaky Blinders.
I've never seen that.
Really? It's pretty good. It's all right.
So, January 3rd, 1804, around 10:30 p.m.,
They didn't have watches back then.
That's so specific. How much water had drained out of the thing? Isn't that how they used to keep track of it?
they got Big Ben.
I don't want to get technical, but Big Ben is just one of the bells.
I'm going home.
I knew something about England she didn't.
I don't care.
It's the Tower of London.
They had that big clock. Anyway,
I'm going to
also,
cut that out because I don't know if it's actually true.
I don't
Ah,
think
okay.
it is.
I'm pretty sure it is.
I thought it was just like one of the clock faces or something.
No, it's one of the bells.
Okay.
Bell.
A armed citizen, Francis Smith,
Classic.
yeah,
That's
said
always
he
good.
was gonna go look for the ghost.
After 9 pints.
So Thomas Millwood, around 11 p.m., he was a bricklayer who was wearing his work clothes, which were white.
Oh, gosh.
Washed very clean, waistcoat of flannel, very white, and an apron. He had been heading home from a visit to his parents and his sister. And this is alleged. Apparently, his sister was like, you should cover up because you've already been mistaken for a ghost. And people are frightened. Like, maybe you shouldn't go walking around in all bright white.
Imagine a day when wearing a white shirt would get you mistaken for a supernatural being in public. Like, if you wear the wrong clothes, people are going to say, hey, people are afraid of you because they think you're a ghost.
So...
They had nothing to do, man.
He didn't get very far from his family because his sister heard Smith, the guy with the gun, say, "Damn you, who are you and what are you? Damn you, I'll shoot you." After which, Smith shot him.
What are you gonna do, shoot me?
And he shot him in the left lower jaw, and it went through his head.
Yeah.
And he died.
That's a bad day.
Like, didn't back then. It didn't
really
really matter.
From a paper cut back then.
It didn't really matter where you got shot. It just, that's it.
That was it. But also,
sepsis.
he died, like, instantly, it sounds like.
Well, that's hard to do.
He was shot in the head.
In the mouth?
It went through.
The mouth?
It went through his neck. Out the back of the head.
The mouth part of his neck. I guess it probably hit his...
The mouth part of his neck!
Do you know there's, like, a brain stem?
It probably
back
hit
there?
his brainstem, yeah.
Did
they do an autopsy, or did they just eyeball it and say, gross?
No, he died... Yeah, it went through his spine.
Yeah, well, that's kind of an important thing, so...
Yeah, good call.
Vertebrates. And their spines.
So Francis Smith was put on trial, and because he killed a man.
What a ridiculous trial. I thought he was a ghost.
Well, and it led to several legal precedents. Well,
Do we need a precedent for you can't shoot people even if you think they're a ghost?
no, but you can't shoot people even if you think they're doing something bad. Because his defense was like, oh, I thought he was the one terrorizing everyone, so I just took care of the problem. He wasn't, is the problem.
Yeah.
He was... So it's kind of silly. He was found guilty of murder and sentenced to death, but then ended up only doing a year of hard labor and then was released. So...
Good old England.
You're fine. You can get out of here.
You didn't mean
You
it.
crazy kids.
It went through the courts for literally 180 years. So, like, the final decision was made in 1984.
A little too soon, I believe. Right?
180 years later?
Yeah. A little late.
So, because there was a lot of, like, well, I thought... Well, and there were, like, other cases that went with it. So, like, there was a case later on in 1983 that basically a guy saw a man dragging a younger man violently across the street while the younger man shouted for help. He thought an assault was taking place, so he intervened and beat up the guy that was dragging the kid. But apparently the guy was apprehending a thief. So he got charged with assault for beating up the guy who actually didn't do anything wrong. Because he didn't know what was going on. He just beat a guy up.
Yeah.
So that was what it was. That's what the...
I think the U.S. has Good Samaritan laws that protect you in that situation. Not for shooting someone.
Well, depends on the day.
But
Depends on the state.
Just minor beat-ups.
Mm-hmm.
Shooting someone, you just say...
But England is also much, like, stricter about that.
Well, yeah, they don't even let you own assault weapons. Or regular, not assault weapons.
Well, you can get licenses.
Really?
If you're a hunter. or live in the country.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because everyone
Coyotes?
and their moms
I
has
was
guns
about
in
to
the
say
country.
that everyone of them and their mom has guns in the country. Like who? Farmers? Who else? Farmers' moms.
Have you not
haven't
watched that
seen
movie?
that
I have
movie,
no
that's
idea what you guys
right.
are talking about.
All right, well, look, I
It's
know
the
what
greatest movie ever made.
I know what we're doing after Emily leaves.
No, you can't do that without me.
Well, you're the one
It's
who
my
has a
favorite movie.
bedtime.
I have a dog.
She does have a
We all
dog.
got dogs.
Yeah, but if I brought the dog, we
And I'll
wouldn't be
tell
able
you
to
what,
record.
Mine are barking.
That's exactly why I didn't bring mine.
Can you at least tell me what the movie is?
Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz.
Oh.
Yeah.
You refused to watch it on principle.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, it's pretty good.
It's actually the greatest movie ever made.
Look, I don't know about that, but it's pretty
Yeah.
good. It's no From Dusk Till Dawn.
I feel like Spider-Man 2 was pretty good. So
Spider-Man 2 was pretty good.
Anyway,
He's
another
just a kid. 40-year-old Tobey Maguire.
another ghost that was very similar to Springheel Jack was the
Moon Shoes Marty.
was the Southampton ghost.
oh, this song is stuck in my head now from the commercial.
Shoes commercial.
You guys are so old.
Oh, it's Moon Boots. Sorry, I think.
I
No,
think
I
it's
think-
Moon Shoes.
Is it Moon Shoes?
It's Moon Shoes.
Either way, I had a pair. They don't work. It's just rubber bands.
It's like mini
so the
trampolines, right?
Southampton ghost
Kinda.
was also reported as assaulting individuals in the night, and also was reported to be real jumpy. Like he could jump
Not
10
like he
feet in
gets
the
scared,
air.
but like he
He
jumps
could
high.
jump up 10 feet in the air.
Imagine a
which
ghost that's jumpy. Like he walks past a mirror and goes, ugh.
Isn't that Casper?
I think that's a ghost.
Have you seen that comic that's like, a ghost, and the ghost goes, rejection.
I have. Also, I looked up how Casper died officially. It's pretty brutal. No one thinks about it, but a kid had to die for that comic strip.
How'd he die?
I think it wasn't typhoid. It was whatever killed everyone Edgar Allan Poe knew. Tuberculosis?
Sounds about right.
I'm the one that should know,
Yeah.
huh?
I had some.
I want to be that kid.
Well, you can for
They
only
don't
$36.40.
But you know what? You can get adult-sized Heelys for much cheaper than you would think they should be.
My mom wouldn't let me get Heelys for a long time, and now I live on top of a hill, so I don't see any reason why I shouldn't.
You should get Heelys.
I don't want that.
And then
Do you
we
know
can
who I
tear
am?
it up across campus.
You know that I had to go to the ER after a GameStop shift once because I just fell.
And I'm old.
I fell off a
Are
ladder.
you looking at Moonshoe's variants now?
You like Moonshoe? You might like these.
Oh, those are pretty wild.
Irregular choice.
It's only $200.
Jeez.
It's on sale for $300.
That doesn't make sense at all.
All right, look, where were we? We were talking about the jumpy ghost.
So the sightings begin. So
Whoa,
the
a ghost.
Southampton ghost was in 1824. So things would kind of quiet down after that guy was killed, and then reports started back up.
All the ghosts were like, they're hunting us out here. We can't get killed again. Can't do
The reports would pop up again. I gotta stop saying pop up. Now's not the time. They started coming up again in 1824 with the Southampton ghost, the one that jumps real high. And then in 1837, so this is
So,
30.
Sorry.
Hold on, let me do
I
some
have
math.
a question.
Yes. Wait, hold on. Let me do math. 1837, so 34 years after the Hammersmith ghost.
Does a ghost need to jump? I was under the impression they could sort of float.
We'll get there.
I mean, it depends on how you die, right?
I guess if you die with the concrete shoes from the mob, then you have to jump because you probably can't float, right?
Yeah.
Look, I don't know. All I'm saying is the rules are inconsistent, and I wish I lived in a time where you could just blame murders on a ghost, and everyone's like, "Yeah, probably."
Yeah, that sounds about right. What if I die in, like, skydiving accident.
Then I think you're actually always floating forever. You're unable to stand.
Or do you just like come back as just a puddle?
Just a cartoon splat.
No, I don't die from impact. I just die in midair.
He dies from a heart attack on the way down.
Yeah.
He was very nervous.
Anyway. So one of the first sightings, which wasn't reported for a long time because it was a woman, she was walking home after visiting her parents, and a strange figure leapt at her from a dark alleyway.
Yeah, but you know how women are always
Saying
making
things.
something out of nothing.
Yeah, and so he like grabbed her and like started kissing on her and started
You know how ghosts do.
I'm not saying he's a ghost. I'm telling you what led up to...
Officer, there was a man. Sounds like a ghost to me.
He was kissing on her and like ripping at her clothes with... Because he had
World's ghost.
He had claws for
Casper.
hands. Stop.
Okay, yeah.
Gross. But she said that he had claws for hands that were cold and clammy. Quote, cold and clammy as those of a corpse.
That sounds like just a dude.
Redditor.
Or a Redditor.
Not back then. So she started screaming, and so he fled.
Man.
You know, over a wall, I
What
guess.
a wimp.
I'm not touching that
What
one.
did you just say?
So what a wimp.
Oh, okay.
A little
The next
screaming
day,
and he runs off. Like, surely going into this, he assumed that would happen, right?
No. Once he started kissing, she would understand.
Oh, he
Yeah.
was going to win her over.
You've seen, 90s romantic movies, rom-coms, whatnot.
Oh, man, I bet she was pretty ugly, but when he took her glasses off and took her hair down, she was probably like the prettiest girl in school.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny because I'm sitting here with my hair in a bun and glasses on.
Well, Norman has made a bet with someone that he can make you prom queen.
I'd never be prom queen.
Just gotta get those paint off the overalls.
I think I might have some paint on this jacket.
There we go. It's holding you back, Emily.
Well, at least it's not white, so no one's going to worry that you're a ghost.
I am that pale, though. So, the next day, he was said to have been jumping from carriage to carriage. And then one carriage, lost control, and the driver was injured pretty badly.
He lives his life a quarter mile at a time. For those 10 seconds or less.
Wait, how old is Vin Diesel? Do we have confirmation on that?
How high can he jump?
I mean, he can jump pretty high.
Can he jump 2.7 meters?
I gotta
Probably.
be honest, I'm gonna need that in American.
9 feet?
Oh, no. Wait, in what direction?
Up.
Is he being thrown from the driver's seat of a different
No.
car?
So he got to the ground, and then he jumped over a fence to escape because people were like, hello, you can't just do that. And apparently his response was cackling while jumping over a wall.
When was PCP discovered?
What was a popular drug back then? Like opium?
Opium.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, England just got China addicted to opium once.
Yeah, because they wouldn't trade with them.
Yeah. So they just gave them drugs until they were hooked.
And they were like, okay, we'll trade with you because we need more drugs. And they were like, okay.
And then China dumped all the opium in the sea. Because England hates it when you dump all their shit in the sea.
Well, it's really on them, huh? So, after a few months, in January of 1838, the Lord Mayor of London, Sir John Cohen,
Lord Mayor?
This guy sounds like a douche.
How many titles do you
allegedly, he was pretty okay. So he revealed at a public session that he got an anonymous letter that he was corresponding with the person who wrote it to try to get more information. I won't read the whole letter, but basically he gave...
I imagine it's a pain.
It's not that long. It's 3 paragraphs, but...
Still.
They're short paragraphs. He read the letter out and basically kind of gave credence to these attacks because no one believed them at first. Because those 2 I gave you are just a couple of examples, but he was allegedly like attacking women and running away. But no one cared because it was just women. So when the mayor was like, all right, here's the deal.
There was an episode of the famous Jet Jackson where he had these things he could step on and they'd fling him up in the air. I'm betting that's what this is. Mm-hmm. Are you looking up the famous Jet Jackson?
I am.
Yeah.
So a lot of people speculate that he was reading the letter. He also kind of implied that it was a woman that kind of lost her mind because of these attacks. So people were like, oh, he's making fun. People nowadays say that he was just like saying, hey, check this out. This is crazy. But all the other reports are kind of showing like, yeah, there was actually like increased police patrols and people like actually taking it seriously because people were being attacked.
But what was an increased police patrol at that point?
Well, I mean, it's like at this point they had police, I guess.
Yeah, but like, what? So like instead of 1 guy, they have 2 guys ill-equipped to fight a ghost.
Well, again, we haven't gotten there, but like, a lot of people don't think that Jack was a ghost. Just like a weird dude.
Imagine you're like a police officer back then.
Did you see a dude hopping from house to house?
You're like, look, it's a ghost. I don't know if it's our jurisdiction, but we got to try.
Look, I'm pretty sure this is a demon, and I don't know what to do with that. So I'm going to go home.
They did call him a demon.
I'm going to go drink. Just let me know in the morning how this all turned out. Also, at this point, this guy's been doing this off and on for 30-something years, right?
Maybe. So the reports are really similar.
So that would be, I mean,
well,
that would be a spunky dude in his 60s.
We're not even there yet. So,
did people live that long?
Back then? No, he's already died twice.
Back then, if you made it to 10, you were gonna, like, you could make it to 50 pretty easily.
Okay.
There's periods you have to look out for. It's birth to 10 and then 50 to forever.
Well, it was, the thing I was reading earlier was like, if you make it past 10, you're like 3 times more likely to make it to 25. And if you make it to 25, you're probably going to make it to 50.
Just don't wear white shirts.
Don't wear white shirts.
And then it will stop.
And then you could live up to your 70s pretty easily. It was just getting past being a kid.
I just really don't want to be 70 in, like, that time period. That sounds terrible.
No. Can you imagine?
I think you're saying that because you're black.
Yeah, you probably don't want to be any age back then.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like, being there would not be great for you.
No,
I couldn't imagine.
Although, at that point, I think England was relatively progressive. At least having...
Was it?
Having... well, okay. Look, I don't want to go too deep into it. But
at this point, I think they made slavery illegal, but like
at a certain point in the war.
But that's just kind of like bare minimum, isn't it?
Yeah. At a certain point in the Civil War.
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln,
which was also in the 60s, 1860s.
1860s, yeah, which is coming up.
Right. That's after all this.
Abraham Lincoln made it a point to shift the focus of the war from states' rights to slavery specifically being the core focus.
So that England
would back him. Yeah. Or at the very least stay out of it and not help the South.
Because they were on the South side, but then he was like, oh, but it's actually about slavery. And England was like, nah. We can't do that.
They're not going to get involved when it's a moral issue.
History's wild, man.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. It's like, man, people, are they people? I don't understand.
People are people.
Crazy.
So why should it be?
Are you doing a thing? Is this
get
Band-Aid?
along so awfully.
Are we doing Band-Aid?
I think that's a Tears for Fears song, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. I watched all of Psych, but I still don't know all their music.
Tangent you can cut out.
Do you know a Tears for Fears song, Norman?
Not a
because I
single
feel
one.
like this conversation has gone
I know.
I'm 100% lost.
I know many Tears for Fears songs,
I know
as you can tell.
No, I know one.
Because I am a white girl. Yes.
I know one. The theme song.
from what?
Psych.
No.
No.
Oh, but they did do a cover of it, actually.
That's the happy...
That's the producers of the show that do that.
Yes. The
Oh,
director
well,
of the
I
show.
don't know then.
No.
What did Tears for Fears did? Everybody wants to change the world.
Rule the world.
Is it Rule the World?
It's Rule the World.
Oh, yeah. I know
And
that
then
song.
Gary Jules did a cover of that song later on.
Are you saying Tears for Fears or from?
Four.
Ah,
Plays them a lot in the showroom.
I don't pay attention.
I wish I couldn't. Today we listened to house music.
It sucks.
And the shout-outs were weird. Well, it wasn't like that. It was like, okay. It was like Forza 4. Like,
Better be careful. He
That's-
might listen to this episode.
he won't.
When he's gonna just put it on, like,
I'll be like, well, hey, Jeremy, I don't mind it. I think that the shout-outs are weird because we'll go from, hey, this one goes out to whoever's son who just graduated kindergarten, and hey, this person wants to give a shout-out to their spouse. Happy 10-year anniversary. Here's to 10 more. And then also, one of them today was, this person wanted to shout out their grandmother, who unfortunately passed away recently. And it's like, why?
you know, I recently my phone was acting up, my Spotify was acting up, so I just listened to the radio for a couple days.
That sucks.
It's really weird.
That's so
Just
bad.
like it's so.
I pay for satellite radio.
I forgot how weird people are online. Or not online, but on like over the
Yeah.
radio.
Was it? I'm asking Carolee because she would
Our
probably
studio
remember.
audience.
Yes, our studio audience. Do you remember we had to listen to the radio for something, and it was just people calling in telling like insane stories about how they screwed guys over.
Yeah,
It was like a whole segment, and she's like, "I stole all his money and then slept with his dad." And the guy on the radio is like, "Hell yeah, you did great. He's probably bad. We don't know. We didn't follow up on anything here."
It was a morning talk show.
Morning
Those
Talk
are
is
always so
crazy.
weird.
Do you remember why we were listening to that?
We were driving.
Well, that's a good.
Yeah.
That's a good starting
Fair
point.
enough.
We were driving a couple hours away.
Anyway, Springheel Jack.
Oh yeah.
So, the police were taking it more seriously now because also, like, some people were being so scared they'd have dangerous fits, which I'm pretty sure means seizures. And then also
That
some
could be
people,
completely unrelated.
they were so scared that they would have fits, like, right away. And then
But-
some people were so, like, severely wounded by the claws. And then
Oh,
allegedly,
this is Fitz during the thing.
the attack.
Okay.
Yeah. And then allegedly several people died of fright.
That's hard to do. It's possible, but it's hard.
I feel like back then they didn't have the internet to desensitize them to anything.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Like, do you think stuff used to be scarier? Like,
Oh yeah,
people were more easily afraid? Because you hear stories and they're like,
Well, a man shot a guy wearing white, and he said that he knew it wasn't a ghost, but he thought he was the guy just attacking people, and it's like, well, hold on. You were the judge, jury, and executioner, huh?
yeah.
like I feel like if you
I
brought
want to
like
be the
a,
judge, jury, and executioner.
if you went to like Spirit Halloween, bought one of those giant spiders that you just kind of hang, and
Oh,
they
I
brought it
People
back
would think
in
it was
time.
real, right?
Oh, like absolutely,
I've
everyone's shitting
got
their
one of
pants.
those on my porch.
Why?
He's a year-round buddy. At Christmas time, I hang
Ooh.
ornaments on him.
I could bring my, what's that? Jeff the Killer. I could get my Jeff the
I was
Killer
hoping
mask.
you would
And
not remember that, because I hate that.
if you went back in time, what
You would
spirit
make
Halloween
people-
item would you take with you?
Yo, this is actually this is a good Twitter question.
I would take a fake sword.
A fake?
I would get killed! Like,
You would get killed immediately.
I would take
Why
one
would
of
you
those-
take a fake sword? They have regular
Yeah,
swords everywhere.
everyone back then had
No,
real
but with,
swords.
But with the fake blood in it. Or well, yeah, but if you get at them fast enough, they're gonna think, oh, that's covered in blood. Because
So, yeah, I don't know
Okay,
about that one.
I want to change my vote.
Please do.
To one of those clowns that when you just stand in front of it, it moves and yells.
There we
Now
go.
that's a good one, but where are you going to plug it in?
Batteries, dude.
Okay.
I
so
also
fair
take
enough.
batteries. My pocket
Fair
is full of batteries.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like the little bowl that has
Also,
a hand.
how are we gonna get back in time, Tanner?
Huh?
Like, that's.
One thing at a time, Emily. Come
Yeah.
on.
I'm just saying, like, don't ask where I'm gonna plug it in. There's some bigger issues.
I would get one of those inflatable costumes where it looks like you're riding on something's shoulders. I would run all through the village with it.
You gotta get one of the dinosaur ones.
Oh, one of the big inflatable dinosaur ones.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm actually the Loch Ness Monster. I don't know if you knew this. That was
so
me.
good. Post that
So
on Twitter.
some of the things that some of the stories that would come to light later. One is someone was calling for help. Oh, they were saying that they had caught Springheel Jack and they needed a candle.
Help!
Oh, because he's jumping.
Tanner was just doing pull-ups with the air.
I think he was attempting the YMCA dance.
I'm not proud of that
wasn't
one,
very good.
but it landed
He
eventually.
was doing the Yuma Yuma dance.
Numa
Numa
guy.
Numa dance, that's right.
Numa,
She even old enough to know that reference.
I don't think
It's
so.
in my playlist with Sam. That was like when I first got on the internet.
You guys see this video of the Numa? This is great.
Hang on.
YouTube.com. Anyway, so she brought the person a candle and noticed he wore a large cloak. Then when she handed him the candle, he threw off the cloak and presented a most hideous and frightful appearance. And then,
Just like an average guy having a bad day.
and then he breathed fire.
Okay, well, let's talk about that for a second. First of all, it makes a lot more sense when I remember that everything was done by candlelight at this point.
And then also, his eyes resembled, quote, red balls of fire.
Like the candle.
And also, he wore a large helmet.
Like the candle?
Like a football player.
And
Rugby?
his clothes appeared to be
Rugby.
very tight-fitting and
they
resembled,
don't wear
like,
anything.
oil skin. So just really shiny and tight.
Toy.
And then he caught hold of her and began tearing at her gown with his claws.
Oh, he's horny again.
Why are they always doing that?
You gotta bonk him. She screamed for help and then managed to get away. He tore at her neck and arms. And then her sister managed to like get her in with and kick him out.
Okay, listen. This is not the most appropriate take.
Oh boy.
But
Oh, Lord.
for someone who intends to make a career of this, he's not very good at it. Right? Like,
He wasn't caught, was he?
He wasn't caught, but almost everyone has gotten away or died of fright.
Maybe he's just doing it for kicks.
Maybe he's just
It just
spooky
seems
guy.
like he's like, no, this is my plan.
Yeah, this,
and
and then he gets there.
And he's like, oh, I didn't think about this.
You were gonna scream? That never crossed my mind. I gotta go.
So,
Puts on his moon shoes and hops away.
about a week and a half later, 9 days after that attack, two sisters were walking home from their brother's house in a respectable part of town.
What was the respectable part of town at this point? Is this still London?
Limehouse. Yeah, I think so.
Has he only attacked women?
Is there a respectable
There's been a couple
part
guys,
of
right?
There's been a
London?
few men, yeah. But women are a lot easier targets back then, too.
For Ghost, yeah.
Well, it's hard to run in all those layers, I assume.
Yeah. But long story short, he was like facing away from them. The girls were trying to walk past him, and he turned around and blew flames at them. with his
Blue
mouth.
flames?
He breathed blue flames at them.
Is he just like smoking a cigarette? Just
But people know what that looks like.
do they?
Back then, yeah, that's all they did. They smoked cigarettes and then died.
Yeah.
To
And
be
also,
fair.
but she had a fit that lasted several hours because she was so frightened by it.
What if this was just like Like, they had to have circuses back then, right? So people probably knew at this point that you could just put some kerosene in your mouth and then blow it over a fire.
Oh, no.
Okay, but if you're just walking down the street, like, let's say that's true. If you're just walking down the street, someone turns around and then breathes fire at you.
I'd go, oh, a street fair.
At this point, yes, but we also have lights at night.
Yeah, fair.
Literally, they didn't back then, because a few years later is when the gas lamp was invented for, like, streetlights, and people were like, this is an abomination.
What?
Because
people will throw a fit about anything.
Because nighttime
That's not true.
is meant to be dark, so why add light to it?
Oh my gosh, and the Earth is 6,000 years old.
So, they didn't even know about dinosaurs back then. So, anyway.
Well, that's just objectively not true. Probably. But
They, like, by the time Washington crossed the river, he,
the Delaware.
The Delaware, thank you.
That was in 17.
Still, they hadn't discovered
76.
dinosaurs yet.
Hey, Emily.
Yes.
What side of the war was Washington on?
The good
What side of World War II was he on?
I would imagine.
The dead side.
Now,
I like
when you
that
say
movie.
that. Anyway, so the girls
Is it a Sandra Bullock movie?
I don't know.
the girls described him as tall, thin, and gentlemanly, covered in a large cloak, carrying a small lamp or bullseye lantern, similar to those used by the police. He tried to, like, grab them and then didn't. The last reports were in the 70s, the 1870s. So, 70 years later.
That 1870s show. Everyone loves it.
Please.
Please tell me a little bit about the time period so I can fill in this reference with something.
Absolutely not.
Who does Topher Grace play? Is he a squire? Did they have those? Am I thinking of the 1600s? There's a whole lot of history that's kind of a gray area for me.
So there were a few different, like...
Like 3 decades.
Centuries?
Centuries, yeah. Decades. They're all the same, really.
Back then. So he was seen all over the country at this point. Because London is, like, southeast England. And some of the last reports were up in Liverpool, which is northwest. Like,
Hey, when you went over there, did you acquire a sweet British accent?
for a minute. I'm not doing it.
Damn it.
I do that if I watch Doctor Who for long enough.
I'm an accent sponge, which is kind of annoying. Like when we were in Scotland, I didn't recognize the voice coming out of my mouth, and I couldn't stop it. I felt
Scottish accents
so
are dope.
obnoxious. But then a girl in our group was like really heavy in it, and it's like, girl, you're faking it, and it's so painfully obvious. Like, I don't want to talk because I don't want people to think I'm like you. She was the worst.
I do the same thing with Australian podcasts, which is the bulk of what I listen to.
Yeah, and I want to talk to you about
Why?
that. We need an intervention about it.
I mean, they just put out better content.
That's... Anyway,
they have
so the last,
Yes.
one of the last sightings was actually in 1904. So about
So
100 years. Yeah.
Springy Boy is doing this.
Jumping and attacking women. I think that's what I said last time. He jumps real high and attacks women.
All right. I'm excited to see how much of this episode I'm going to keep in and how much I'm going to cut.
So there's different theories about what he was.
I'm going to go with a series of different dudes.
So there's that. A lot of people have done research to, like, see if they could make a machine with materials that they had available back then, to see if they could even make moon shoes that would get you that high.
But the thing is, that height is very subjective. Like...
No, because he was jumping over, like, walls that people knew and, like, are still standing today.
Allegedly.
And you can measure.
Allegedly the walls exist, or allegedly
Allegedly he was jumping over them. Maybe he climbed over it.
No, it was like a
But he
swift
did it
motion.
so fast
They
that-
were very.
Well, no, he climbed over it, and then just through the, I don't know, 220 years of history, it's gotten conflated.
That's
Well,
true.
there are newspaper reports from the time too.
They didn't have newspaper. There are tablets from the
They
time.
did. you know, Edgar Allan Poe was like alive in this time.
I wouldn't say
was
he's a
writing.
credible source either.
No, I'm just saying, like, things were published. Anyway.
On tablets.
At the time, people didn't really believe that he was a ghost. People were trying to
wonder
figure
why.
out, like, who would do this? Huh? What'd you say?
I don't blame him.
Yeah, I said I wonder why.
There was a really big rumor circulating in the 40s that it was an Irish nobleman, the Marquis...
1840s?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The Irish nobleman, Marquis of Waterford.
He doesn't sound Irish.
You know that if you were English, you could just go wherever you wanted to. If you, like, were anywhere remotely related to the Queen, you could just be like, I'm an Irish nobleman now because I live in Ireland and
Damn
I'm
it,
a
I was
nobleman.
really hoping she was going to do the accent.
Yeah, me too.
No.
I'm just saying he sounds French. Because his name is Billboard.
His name is Henry.
I was working on
Oh.
it.
He was the Marquis of Waterford.
Yeah. Billboard.
But his name was Henry de la Poor Beresford.
Wow.
Spanish now. Changed my mind.
Yeah, that did sound a little...
I don't know what you want from me. Anyway, he was in the news
British
a lot
accent.
because he was because he was fighting all the time, making brutal jokes, vandalism, and would do anything for a bet.
And in other news, he bid again.
He earned the title the Mad Marquis.
They weren't great at nicknames back then.
He would like literally jump out and try to scare travelers
That's funny,
or
though.
just whoever. Here's the thing, right? Literally a man got shot for wearing white earlier in this story.
Yeah, but jumping out and scaring travelers is funny. You ever seen the videos online of people that dress up like a tree and wait for
I'm
people
so
to walk
scared
by?
that that's gonna happen to me one day because I'm just gonna pee on the spot.
That's why I don't leave.
That's why.
And
A
other
lot
reasons.
of people under this assumption say that it's a lot of unsupported rumors, superstition, sensationalized publications, and just, rumors that turn into something way bigger than
Yeah.
initial. And then, like, it's a whole urban legend.
You know how the press does.
Yeah. So, and it, like, England for being so old doesn't have, like, it has a lot of superstitions, but it doesn't have a lot of urban legends that have made it, and maybe it's because we're American, but, like, I know of a lot of superstitions from a lot of ancient cultures, or a lot of, like, mythology and stuff,
I think
as well as urban legends even.
there's probably a lot of factors that play into that, but just the surface area in general.
It's very small, but they, at
Like-
one point ruled, like, most of the planet.
Well, yeah, but when they did that, they were also, like, heavily whatever their version of Christianity is, and it frowns upon anything occult.
And
Well, they
Catholicism.
were-
whichever.
Look, there's a
I
whole,
see what you're saying,
There's a whole story behind their version of Christianity, but
and it depends on which sect. And yeah.
yeah, but they were very anti, like, pagan and all of that stuff.
Sure. A lot of the like crazy urban legends in America come from the Deep South. That's
Yeah.
the Bible Belt and stuff. So I don't know that it is necessarily that. I think it's a lot of
Well,
things
there's
that just
also-
like didn't make it. But that all being said, it's one of those things that has survived. But at the same
Also-
time, like I said, the last sighting was in 1904. And also at the time, there were a lot of things being published about Springheel Jack. A lot of like Pulp Fiction stories. What is it
Oh.
called?
Tarantino. I'm ready for that movie. Tarantino's Springheel Jack movie.
Anyway, the term I was trying to think of was penny dreadfuls. There was a whole series of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like the story was spreading a lot because like it was a great thing to tell stories about, because no one really knew.
Well, that's a matter of opinion.
Back then, again, there was not much to do. They didn't know it, but they were building up to a war.
You're going to listen to a Springheel Jack, or you're going to go to a public execution. That's your Sunday.
Well, you could read about it in the Penny Dreadfuls, because Penny Dreadfuls were really popular back then. I think like a bunch of like the big mysteries of like mystery stories of the day started as Penny Dreadfuls.
Yeah, it's because they didn't have comics yet.
But there were also comics about him.
Oh.
Like later on. So
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I bet they did one about him.
So there's the paranormal explanations, of course, including that he was an extraterrestrial.
Of course, that's something someone said.
Of course. Well,
where is Ryan Bergara when you need him?
Well, like Lauren Coleman said, that he was a phantom attacker. Lauren Coleman, if you're into cryptozoology at all, you know who he is.
I do not.
I bet if I showed you a picture, you'd recognize him. But there's just like, they may be human as well with like incredible, athleticism, because falling from 10 feet up, without springs or something, you're gonna break your ankles.
Tuck and roll.
Well, no.
No, because he would land straight on his feet.
No, not necessarily.
Well, that's like because he would jump from places.
If he's
and
had
then
a
also
couple,
jump back.
if he's had a couple beers.
You can still break your bones. You're still going to break your bones.
No, but
everyone knows you can't get hurt when
also,
you're drunk.
Right.
You can't.
That's
jump,
just
limber.
a fact.
You can't jump
You'll
10 feet
tense
in
up.
the air when you're drunk. I'm just gonna.
There's not much I can't do when I'm drunk.
And some people say that it's like straight up. It's called the old hag phenomenon, where it's just like it's a form of hallucinations.
Yeah. Mass hysteria, hallucinations.
That's a different thing, but yes.
Well, it's part of it. Mm-hmm. Ever tell you about the time never mind.
Thank you.
I was just speaking of stuff we did after a few beers.
Oh, Lord. Anyway.
The police came and I was on the second floor. I had to get out of there. So
I feel that.
So I did. Anyway.
I've never been in a situation like that.
I have.
What did you do for your first 2 years of college?
Cried.
Fair.
So he's so that's pretty much it as far as the theories, because no one really knows. No one really knows how to explain it, because it's one of those just like dudes. It's probably just, it's an urban legend. It grew from something that may have been real, and just
guy climbed the fence and it just kind of got out of hand.
He was really fast.
Even if he was medium fast, everything was so dumb and slow back then. Like, I bet he could just climb the fence at a reasonable pace. Like, can you imagine if Usain Bolt went back to the 1800s and people saw him go
you gotta
by?
Be careful.
They'd be like, "Whoa, that's gotta be a ghost," because he moves too fast. But no, he's just a dude who's like good at something.
Yeah,
they had the Olympics back then.
Yeah, I know, and everyone was
competed. Naked. Not at that point, I don't think.
Well, I choose to believe otherwise.
Okay. So you'll see him in a lot of pop culture even to this day.
No, I haven't.
He was in Assassin's Creed Syndicate. He was also in Elder Scrolls 4.
Okay, I didn't play Syndicate. That's fair.
Elder Scrolls 4?
Mm-hmm. So in Elder Scrolls 4, a video game by Bethesda Game Studios, you can obtain a pair of enchanted boots called the Boots of Springheel Jack, which allows you to jump higher than normal.
That sounds sick.
It's pretty sick.
Which one was 4?
Oblivion.
Oblivion.
And then there's like graphic novels about him. He's a side character in a lot of things. And also in the 1930s and 40s, in Prague, Perek, the Spring Man of Prague, originating from Czechoslovakia,
I have the power.
So the urban legend originated in the Czechoslovak city of Prague during the German occupation of Czechoslovakia in the middle of World War II. But this time, he was, when people were writing about him and putting him in Penny Dreadfuls, actually comics at this point, he was beating up SS officers.
That's sick. I'm a fan now.
Yeah.
I'm 100% on board with this fictional murderer.
Yeah, the Springer, he would jump out from alleyways and startle passerbys, but also
beat up Nazis.
How'd you mess? Wait, are you a Nazi?
Also, like, so all the stories, all the like supposed sightings are like he was jumping over train carriages, and then also he was possibly associated with the rumor of, quote, a razor blade man who is said to slash at victims with razors attached to his fingers, but also...
That sounds like a particular character from a Tim Burton movie.
Except in the 40s.
Tim Burton.
I guess technically that movie was
Tim
set
Burton,
in the 50s.
I was thinking of Freddy Krueger.
Also that. But in 2015, this urban legend was actually made the front of a guerrilla media campaign to commemorate the former Letty concentration camp. I don't know.
Are you gonna?
I read the sentence, and now it's out there. And then also he's in a lot of.
A
lot of. Well,
we're still on the last thing.
It was in 2015. A social activist claiming the identity of Perek fronted a guerrilla media campaign to commemorate the former site of Letty concentration camp.
Okay, so not commemorating an actual concentration camp, which is what you said initially.
This is a concentration camp.
But not presently.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, I see where you guys got confused.
Okay.
Man,
The former
just
site
Google it.
of it. Well, I just assumed you guys would know that there aren't concentration camps in Europe.
I don't assume with anything with you guys.
Okay, I can't assume anything about Europe, but we still have them here, so...
Okay. Word. But yeah, so the urban legend kind of spiraled into something much bigger than what was probably started, but no one really knows what started it. It's just a fun urban legend that...
Fun. Debatable. But...
He breathes fire and has fire eyeballs.
And does rapes.
Yeah.
He does not. He sure tries.
He tries.
But he doesn't.
He tries, but he's bad.
Oh!
Whoa, oh, you startled me.
See also Jack the Ripper, Jersey Devil, Mothman. Also the London Monster, which is also an interesting thing. But really, it's just a dude that was like stabbing ladies because they wouldn't let him hit it.
Isn't
So
that
was
Jack
kinda
the Ripper?
rude. No, that was different.
Well, he was, look,
because
probably,
it was way before. So one of the reasons...
He was probably stabbing ladies because he wanted his girlfriend to stop being a prostitute. But...
There's a lot to it. Actually, I went on a Jack the Ripper tour, and I'm convinced that I know who it was, but I forgot off the top of my head, so...
No, I'm convinced that I know who it was, too. It was the guy who wanted his girlfriend to stop being a prostitute, so he was murdering prostitutes.
I think it was the guy who found the first body, which actually might be the same guy.
I think so.
No, so one of the reasons that he kind of fell out of the zeitgeist pretty immediately was that Jack the Ripper...
invented.
Well, Jack the Ripper started attacking women.
And that was a real thing.
That was a real thing, and that started in 1888. So once that started, people were like, "Oh, this is actually worse."
There's only
one thing worse.
There's not enough room in this town for two of us, Jack.
So he left. Also, they just named everything Jack.
Yeah, well.
The Union Jack.
Do?
Jack the Ripper.
Off.
Jolly Rot. Oh,
okay. Anyway, that's the end of my story.
that was fun. I had a good time.
It's one of those stories that I don't know. I'm really into this kind of stuff, and it doesn't come up super often just because there's not a lot to talk about.
Good thing we're here.
We managed to get an hour and a half out of it.
But also, I did some, like, external research what influenced like the zeitgeist to be able to birth this urban legend.
I thought you were doing sort of a dialect thing there with your use of what in that sentence. But I don't think now that you were. But I thought you were doing
I've already forgotten what I said.
Sort of a British Cockney influenced sentence there. But I now don't think that you were. Anyway, I was impressed until the rest of the sentence.
That was fun.
I am more well-spoken than you nerds.
All right. Well, look, we can go toe-to-toe if you want to, but that's for another day.
I have an English minor that I haven't finished yet.
Yeah, well, anyone can get an English minor.
That's not true. Have you taken critical theory of English? Because that was...
No, but you know what I did take? Foundations of Science.
I did not.
I know. So anyway, just a series of dudes.
Just a bunch of just guys being dudes. Jumping real high, attacking women.
Oh, man. Guys
So that's
being
Jack...
dudes.
Springheel Jack. I was about to say Jack the Ripper.
Springheel Jack the Ripper. The new worst thing to happen to England.
Oh, no.
I don't know. There was that whole World War II.
Well, also, I think the plague took more people than that.
I think the
Which
Blitz
one?
rivaled it.
Did it? Mm-hmm. A third of the population.
I'm making that up, but
Well,
it sounds
that's of
right.
Europe.
Also, so one of the things that kind of ties the Blitz into this is there was a series of 3 stories, like written at the time instead of just sensationalizing it. Supposedly it was like the true story, whatever. And those copies were lost in the Blitz of the London or the British Library. So, rip.
Sick. Man.
Oh, that's also probably another reason why there's not a lot of urban legends out of England, because
Everything got destroyed by the Nazis.
everything got destroyed. So what was left, is what people were like verbally telling each other, which is only going to last a couple of generations.
Which is mostly just about Winston Churchill's wit.
Man, I'm so sick of Nazis taking things away from us.
Yeah, it's crazy
good
that they're
take,
still
man.
doing it. That's wild.
Yeah.
They're not Nazis. They're just
And now
passionate
I
about their
get-
country.
And now I get 3 weeks off of
Of
researching.
this, 2. You get 2.
If I play my cards right.
So I enjoyed that. Mostly the part about punching Nazis. That was what really hit home to me.
That's why I brought it up.
That was great. Because there's nothing more American than killing
So
Nazis.
true. Well, you would think, huh?
I would argue
The American
leaving
dream
the bar
has...
with a gun on a mission to hunt ghosts.
That's the most American thing of all.
Pretty damn American.
That's my favorite part.
What gets me is that I'm the one who added that he was drunk, but it stuck.
I mean, who's to say? It was
100%. You
the
can't.
1800s. What else were you gonna do?
Look, he wasn't just sitting at home by the
perpetually
fireside reading a book and said, "No, I'm done with this. I'll put this down for now."
I was watching a documentary about Prohibition, and it was explaining why people used to drink so much.
There was nothing else to do.
Well, what he said was like they hadn't invented like soda back then, and it's like
you could drink
but
water or
like
Milk?
does
milk?
does that excuse? Because
milk often would get you sick because it was pasteurized. Actually, England still does unpasteurized. They don't have you can't pasteurize it over there.
yeah, they didn't listen to Louis. But yeah, he was like,
They didn't listen to Big Milk.
there wasn't a lot to drink back then because they hadn't invented soda, and juice was expensive. And it's like, yeah, I guess. But,
And now we put juice in our alcohol,
yeah, now we have
and
mixers.
I drink Coke.
But it's like, yeah, there wasn't a lot to drink back then. But is vodka really what you want with your dinner? Like,
It was usually like beer.
was beer.
What was their dinner though?
Vodka?
It fills you up. I said I wanted to leave by 11. It is 11:45. My dog has eaten 3 plants. I'm sure of it.
Okay, well then go ahead and sign off.
Okay. I have been Emily. We didn't introduce yourselves at the beginning.
They know who we are at this point.
It's been a year.
What you can do is we can just we can do the
Introduce ourselves now.
Yeah, and you just
And then I'll cut it.
We can do it.
so let's do the outro now.
You should listen to.
Wait, we should have done the outro at the beginning so I could cut it and put it
We'll
at the
do
end.
that next time. I've been Emily.
Just take one of the intros that we've done in the past.
Hello, welcome to Y-Files.
I'm Emily. I'm excited to be a guest. You can find me at NJA. You can find me at the Queen Kaiju. Everywhere.
Spelled just like it sounds.
Crazy. I just decided to do that because I was tired. So one day someone messaged me and they were like, oh my god, I just got it. NJASQRL spells ninja squirrel. And I was like, oh my god. You've known me for a year.
Yeah. That's what it's always been.
Like, it's been this way.
I'm Tanner. You can find me on Twitter at
Pod
probably
Schneider.
Pod Schneider still by the time this comes
I
out.
thought you were waiting for me to hop in.
Don't find me anywhere else. I'm not interested.
I'm Norm. You can find me everywhere at Unhappy Bananas. Sometimes there's an underscore there, sometimes there's not. You make that choice.
The underscore is after un.
Yeah.
That's not true.
It's actually it's between one of the P's and the other P in happy. That's where you want to put that underscore.
I put them between the spaces.
Unhappy space underscore space.
But yeah.
We're not funny.
Just find me anywhere. And, if you find me at HEB, I'll say hey.
I will not. If you find me at HEB, I'm gonna cry.
If you find me at HEB, something terrible has happened. I do not go there.
I go there to look at their plants, and then I get some snacks, and then I go home.
I dealt with their traffic once in the parking lot,
Right?
and I will not again.
Right?
Yeah.
I've got one spot that I like. I need it to go back to 24 hours so I can go grocery shopping at 3 a.m. because no one is there.
Incapable of designing a working parking lot.
Wait, so
for
where do you
human
go?
beings. Walmart.
Oh.
Yeah. But what are you gonna do? I can park there.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
And not almost die 10 times walking into the store.
Anyway, bye.
Sorry, Mom.
Sorry. Bloop.